Creativity is an addiction. Unplugged because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged.
Hey, it's Arroe, and this is Vocal Frag. This is where you go to ask the questions and question the answers. There's two different styles that I do. One of them is in a physical journal, which I've been doing since November of 2017. And then vocal defragging, which is what this is. We're on a transition walk right now. We all go through transitions, changes in our life, mindsets that just swiftly go away. But we don't study what led to it. What was the river that no longer is the stream, that is no longer just a puddle, that is no longer just a raindrop that fell from the sky? You see what I mean? There is always something before something happens. And you've got to be able to sit there and try to figure it out. Sure, it's a pain in the ass to do it because we're not being truthful to our inner selves. We want people to be truthful to us. Anybody, your boss, your family members, your friends. You know, you're deeply injured when somebody lies to you or takes advantage of you. What about you and you? Your inner core and your outer shell. Don't you think there needs to be a relationship there as well? And you need to understand the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns, the spills. That's what defragging is all about. You're asking the questions, you're questioning the answers. Yes, it is a journey. No, it's not going to happen overnight, but you will learn over time that your inner strength is what gets you through the storms on the outside shell. This is Vocal Defrag. Interesting subject hit me late last night. Late. Do you protect yourself? That's what was written in the regular handwritten defrag journal. Do you protect yourself? What does that even mean? Of course we protect ourselves. We do everything we can to make sure we have a roof over our head. We have food in our stomach. That's protecting ourselves, right? No, I don't think that's where it was going. Where it was going was, what are you doing for others that brings damage to you? Yeah, to get that roof over your head, hey man, we need you to stick around for about 2 more hours, okay? For you to have food in your stomach, you got to sacrifice more hours, a second or a third job. Do you protect yourself? Now this morning, I found that in my regular journal because I wanted to extend that conversation from my defrag journal to my morning pages, which are inspired by Julia Cameron's The Artist Way. Do you protect yourself? Now, the writer this morning said, absolutely I do. Okay, there's your answer. But now let's question the answer. Okay, Mr. Journal Keeper, if you protect yourself, how do you protect yourself? So now I'm bringing that to you. If your answer was, yeah, of course I protect myself. I do everything I can to make sure that my kids are happy. My pets have toys to play with. Yeah, I protect myself because I'm putting in the hours to make sure that I am protected. Until you wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, an anxiety attack, or maybe the fear of not getting something done because it's protecting other things, other people's times, areas of question, but you don't want to deal with the consequences. So what you do is you sacrifice what you think you're protecting to make sure that you stay protected, but you're not really protected because that inner core of you is going, what gives here, man? What gives? So let's go ahead and call a spade here, okay? Do you protect yourself? If the answer is yes, ask the question, how? Why? Where do you protect yourself? Asking those questions takes you deeper into the physical story itself. And if you are protecting yourself from the lurking evils of the world, when will you learn new ways to protect yourself? Does that make you a hypochondriac? Does it make you feel weird when you're asking yourself questions? You've got to ask the questions so that you can come up with better, stronger answers. In order to make it through your storms, the clouds had to take shape somewhere. There had to be a wind. There had to be something that really kind of festered in the sky to bring that rain to you. But what happens after it rains? Because I'm blessed with this beautiful forest in South Charlotte, North Carolina, I see what happens when it rains. I see the growth. I see things bloom, the scent in the air. See what I mean? We have to go through the storms in order to get to the peace and tranquility that soothes our hearts. that brings dreams to life. Instead of standing in the mirror and complaining about what you're seeing, maybe your stomach is getting rounded a little bit more than what you wanted. Maybe your eyes are starting to sag. Your arms, they don't flex like they used to. Oh yeah, you're moving through a storm. That's a natural storm. But what are you doing to protect yourself? As your body, your outside shell, is starting to get old, what do you think the inside of you is starting to look like? Those dreams that you couldn't conquer, those ambitions that you spoke a lot about, but nothing really materialized. How did you make it into the place that you are right now without asking questions? You just did to do? Is that how it happens? Well, I just did it just because I can say I do it. You know, it's one of those things. I'm going to get this quote completely 100% wrong, but I know that it was Van Gogh who said it. It was all based on he does things that he can't do, and he did them so he could learn how to do them. Wow. Can you imagine how many ways that man learned how to protect himself? We know Van Gogh because of his art, but he did a lot of things because he couldn't do it, so he did them so he would learn how to do it. I'll give you a little bit of one-on-oneness here. I believe that even though I've been in radio for 44 years, I still don't have any people skills. No, let me explain. In radio, you imagine listeners are there. You imagine it. It's just you in that studio. And if you're lucky enough, you got a team around you. But not everybody's that lucky. So you imagine people being there. Yeah, you go out and do the personal appearances. You shake the hands, you kiss the babies. You smile a lot, pictures taken, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But then you wake up into the shape of a used to be. Just like your body aging, you used to be. How are you going to protect yourself? If you're a used to be, where are you going to protect yourself? What gets the attention? Where do you grow from there? So that you don't accuse yourself of being a lifetime used to be. Because so many times people, as they get older, and let me tell you something, I talk to 25-year-olds that say, oh, I'm so old. Wow, you're old at 25, huh? Okay, if that's how you feel, how are you protecting yourself? How are you making sure that at 25 that you've got the willingness and the ability to pop through that storm, to utilize the strength of that water that fell from the sky, to allow your soil to have a harvest so that others can be fed? Do you protect yourself? That's the question. How do you protect yourself? Why do you protect yourself? Why do I write every day? Why do I have just page after page after page of writing? What does it serve other than a writer's ego that thinks it has a voice? It's more than that. Because having that voice has led to 17 different podcasts, conversations with some of the most creative people on the planet, doing shows like this that are one-on-one that have nothing to do with me and everything to do with your personal growth. Your ability to see beyond the wall, to get across the mountains, to just not stop right there in Salt Lake City, but rather to climb that mountain and take your word to the other ocean. There's one thing that we don't do in our everyday world, and that is compliment the bad times. Yeah. Taking the time to say, well, okay, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for letting this be a very bad day. I had one yesterday. I did. Because my agreement with my essential job was based on, I will stay there until 10 p.m. I'll be part of your nighttime team because that's one of the hardest teams to keep together, or basically just even put together. But I was going to be a team player. I'll stay there till 10. Well, they changed the hours. Now I'm going to be closing. Oh, wait a second, guys. Hey, hang on. You got to understand why I needed to leave at 10 o'clock. They don't care. They didn't care that I was going home to show prep. They didn't care that I would get to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning and I had to be in the recording studio by 7 to 7:30 in the morning. They didn't care. And the reason why I know they didn't care is because they put me on till 11. That means I'll be going to bed at 2 o'clock to be in that studio by 7 o'clock. Do you protect yourself? Do you see now why I brought that question up? That's how it landed on the paper. And what we've talked about today is because of a storm. Through daily writing and through defragging, I ask the questions, and I question the answers. And I invite you to start practicing the same journey, to be able to have the inner strength to be able to say, okay, so it's a bad day. I accept you. What do you want me to learn from it? How can I teach it so that I know others who feel like me in this moment of now don't have to feel such strong winds? Defrag. You can vocal defrag. You can put it in a journal and then rip it up. Just ask the questions, then question the answers. I'm Arroe.